Having been there for the pre-judging session, in the last 90 minutes, you'll learn for a real treat. This is amazing. Every year we have amazing entrants in this event, and every year they surpass the ones before. So I'm so excited. Susan did ask me to let y'all know that we have done a little bit of reformatting with the awards for the
So they're going to come down and out this way.
So this year we have 3 categories: novice, journeyman, and master. And I'll let you know as they come up which category they're in, just so you can know for yourselves. And then we are awarding a Best in Class award for each classification, as well as a Best in Show, which is the best overall entrant from all of the classes, and a Best Workmanship, which is the entrant with the best workmanship who is also not won Best in Class or in Show. And then each judge, as always, gets a judge's choice. The 3 categories are judged on our accuracy, craftsmanship, and presentation. And then we have a special award this year, which is an audience choice. And we're going to do that at the very end, out of the people that you believe perhaps were overlooked by the judges. You'll have the opportunity to give your input. All right? All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. First up, we have Seth Jones, Kate Helmley, and Steph Greer as the heralds Ishar, Shalash, and Bielaczyc in the journeyman class. Ishar. The Order of Adomanis, Shalash, also known as Ash, herald of beauty, patron of the Order of Lightweavers, and Bielaczyc, also known as Vadal, herald of loving and healing, patron of the Order of Edgedancers. All right, next up we have Kat Turner's Egwene Sedai in the novice category, the Watcher of the Seals, the Flame of Tarvalon, the Aubree Seeds. We have Rosemary Williams as a twin-born fashion plate in the journeyman category. Ladies, our current fashion trend cycling your inner ascendant warrior. Are you bereft that you cannot hide so much as a single metal vial under those slim skirts? Well, we have your solution. Presenting a new line of dresses designed for the lady of action who still needs to look fabulous. Now you can attend the fanciest of balls while still being prepared for any eventuality. Because remember, in the Alindel Basin, there's always another secret.
Oh, you tied it across. It's just like it's supposed to be tied separately. There we go. Now we got it.
Next is Nancy McCullough as Shy in the journeyman category. She had her spectacles back now, so no more squinting. A flat red halfling skirt and button blouse. Under the blouse she wore a tight cotton shirt, and under the skirt she wore leggings. A lady never knew when she might need to ditch her outer layer of clothing to effect a disguise. Nancy McCullough, dressed as Shy from the Emperor's Soul, constructed most of her costume. Her favorite pieces are the slippers she knitted and the book she bound. Inside are a few illustrations of soul stamps. As St. Brigid in the novice category. And here we have St. Brigid and her Fae Fox Silver. Here we have Jackie Mazzone and Nick Keith as Rand and Moraine in the novice category. Kay as Moraine Sedai in the novice category. Moraine Sedai has just returned to the wheel and been prepared for Azeroth. While there, she joined a group of intrepid adventurers, mostly teenagers and 40-year-olds still living in mom's basement, to take on the Dread-Licked dragon Thelmis. After the grueling battle of Sunwell Plateau, Moraine and her companions defeated the creature, and so Moraine claimed a new staff from the dragon's hoard.
For the Lord!
Ava Patch, who's definitely not Asmodean, in the master category. Here's a gleeman we hired for this event, calls herself Jason Natail, and insists she's never even heard of the Forsaken, but she's a decent fiddler. For centuries, art has begotten art. Music has inspired poets, stories have inspired visual artists, and so on throughout the ages. Costuming is a type of art, and this costume has been inspired by Ariel Burgess' Moraine Portrait, a visual depiction of Moraine's character arc through the Wheel of Time series. Here we see Nancy Kahn, head of the Black Aja, at Dragon Mount Shale Ghoul in the novice category. And this is her appearance in the World of Dreams. Here we see Tony Schiaffi as the Winter Dragon in the novice category. Is unemployed, looking for a job in a TV show, and he suggests that was in the ill-fated short film Winter Dragon. Category. Next is Nathan Lee, who is Captain Wallace McDougal of Turbinis in the novice category. Naomi Novik's Temeraire series. An officer in His Majesty's Aerial Corps, McDougal is captain of the middleweight dragon Turbinis. His crew and dragon remaining in port on the dragon transport, Captain Wallace decided to venture someplace called JordanCon, where rumor plays a unique type of dragon that could be found. Megan is Randall in the novice category. Art inspires life, and life inspires art, and so we have the Wheel of Grendel. Megan served as the model for Ariel Burgess' most recent portrait of Grendel, and here is cosplaying the dress that Ariel designed for the painting. Like Grendel, she too enjoys laying on couches and drinking wine. We have Jagan Sadai, who's playing as a Tarabana Red Aja Aes Sedai in the novice category. A sister who keeps the traditions of her country, this red keeps her hair in a multitude of braids, and even sports the Tarabana veil. Also in fashion in Tarabana is a high neck coming up under the chin, and a dress that generally hugs the figure in light fabric. The only jewelry on her hands is the great serpent ring. And a red and gold shawl, fancy and formal, sits low on the shoulders to display the long red fringe with all of her Aja pride. Here is Joel Richard as Perrin Ibarra, Perrin Golden Eyes. Which he discovered online when looking for inspiration for his first Wheel of Time cosplay. In fact, this is his first time attending JordanCon. He's burning his fingers, forging his axe and hammer. From more blood, not steel. Richard Fife and Bessie Fife as Suleiman, Javachuck, and Bookchuck. And then as the real time bird, Robert Jordan knew he needed help to keep the world in order. First came Suleiman, keeper of the notes, then the Javachuck, keeper of time, and his wife, Bookchuck, keeper of cuteness. After about 2.5, it was they who helped Brandon finish the series. And now, they come to JordanCon to answer the unanswered. So who killed us here?
Amazing.
Next we have Mildred and Michael as Marion and Liang in the novice category. Two travelers searching in unexplored fields for a potential spearman. Next are Brandon Butler and Rachel Little. I'm Henry VIII, I am, with an Italian friend. Rachel is wearing a 16th century Italian gamurra, a style of dress that was particularly popular over a camica attendant. She is based on the 16th century Napoleon portrait of Henry VIII, consisting of a hand-sewn linen shirt, doublet, jerkin, trousers featuring a codpiece, and hand-sewn leather duckbill shoes, accentuated with a red velvet and rabbit fur trimmed box coat and a red velvet flat cap with a hand-sewn ermine band. I'm not sure if this codpiece is a violation of our anti-harassment and bullying. Here we have April and Kevin Davis as a steampunk Dalinar and Ebony in the novice category. With the opening of the Oath Gates came a commingling of fashion and technology. Although Dalinar is not fashion forward, he understands that he must acquiesce to some of his wife's fashion choices and wear the fabric he's given. If not, she may poke him with the pain fabrial she carries that can both give or take away pain. Here we have Igor and Diana Leckman as Elind and Ben Venture in the novice category. Ben has a handmade miscloak, her mother's earring, daggers at the ready to protect Elind, a coin pouch that was handmade and full of coins for pushing. Elind is complete with his white that was hand sewn on, handmade dueling cane, which is collapsible to fit this suitcase, and carrying his favorite military strategy book. This is also their first ever costume contest and first attempt at making costumes. as a Drakkar in the master class. I'm really concerned about this creature, and I hope she leaves soon before she bites. Nelson Lewis as a Selkie of the Sea in the novice category. Ancient tales of fae and shapeshifters fill Scottish folklore. Along the rocky beaches and cliffs, beautiful and sometimes deadly seals stalk the sand. Yet, all is not as it appears. Among some of those furred beasts, there are those who shed their seal skin and become human. But woe is the Selkies separated through human treachery from their skin, for they cannot return to the sea. Should they find the skin, they will abandon their human spouse and return to their first love, the depths of water. Weiss as Ray, the journeyman Matron Bloody Coffin.
I got a little surprise when
I don't know. No backers.
And it's right here. I thought we could put it out on the dance party later. Except it's empty.
They are here to make sure that you obey, await, and serve until the return.
All about the High Lady Serafina?
For your services to the Empire of the Emperor's make you live forever.
With her hair braided for the very first. Here we have Grace Jones as the corpse bride in the novice category. Emily was in love with a poor as dirt stranger in the Victorian age. Her father did not approve. So she and her beau planned to elope, but it turned out her father was right. Her fiancé murdered her on the road. Finally, we have Tom and Aaron DeSimone as Nicodemus in the novice category. Nicodemus Archleone is the leader of the Order of Black He is never without his noose, which grants him near invulnerability. Nicodemus hosts the fallen angel. The angel uses Nicodemus' shadow to spy, fly, and attack their enemies. Applause for all of our contestants. Use themselves to go deliberate and make some final decisions and scoring adjustments perhaps, and they'll come back with the results. So thank you very much, judges. Give me a round of applause for us. So This time, I'd like to invite up the con chair and assistant con chair, Jennifer and Jimmy Liang, for the annual JordanCon Awards. And personally, I'm very excited about this. I'm the member of the board of directors. The awards that we give here come from the board and are decided on by the board, but I'm normally in the other room with the judges. So this year, because I'm the Toastmaster, I actually
So thank you, everyone. First, I'd like to make a quick announcement about our 10-year volunteer. Due to clerical error, someone was omitted from the list. We would like to recognize Richard Fife as a 10-year volunteer who sat at registration in year 1, and again, apologize due to clerical error. We miscalculated, not including in the ceremonies.
In our defense, 10 years ago, we didn't know we would be handing out 10-year pins. So we may have some spotty record keeping going back that far.
While the judges are deliberating, we want to recognize those volunteers who have contributed at least 5 years of service to us. So every 5 years, on their 6th year, they get a new 5-year pin. And I would like to ask Greg to come up. He's our head of our volunteers.
Hi everybody. First person to get their 5-year pin is Jennifer Hellman. She's been working hard for 6 years and should be here.
Well, I'm here.
Thank you for your hard work and service, Jen. Your cup is broken. Hot dog.
Useless cat.
2 more people that have already received their pins, but we wanted to say thank you to them. Jim Moore and Julia Moore have been volunteering for a long time, and thank you for all of your service as well. If you happen to be in the room, if you're not, thank you as you are continuing to work. The last person who is getting their 5-year pin this year is Gary Singer. And since Jimmy made the mistake of giving me a microphone, I wanted to take this opportunity to remind everyone who has volunteered, thank you for your help. We could not do this without you. If you have pink or red tickets, make sure you write your name and phone number on them and place them in the cups tomorrow morning for all of the raffle items. They will be available to place in cups tomorrow morning. Please swing by the volunteer HQ, look at what's there, and start putting your tickets where they belong. Please make sure your name and phone number are on the back. The ticket numbers themselves don't actually mean anything.
all unclaimed tickets belong to the Empress.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Greg. I would like to call up Thomas DeSimone. Tom is head of our guest services as well as the con game that you guys may or may not have been playing.
Hi everyone. So we did the con game this year. For people who don't know what it was, Shanshin theme. The Empress was displeased with some of you people and some of us people.
Y'all are bad.
And she wanted the new low blood vying for a spot among the high blood to eliminate some of the people that had displeased her on this side of the Arathosan. So the person who eliminated the most was Montana Atwood. She in here? Oh, in our rules, I stated you would receive a major award, so here's your major award. And congratulations. And you also get.
It does please me, but did you get the guy who squeezed the toothpaste in the middle of the two.
That one.
So now we want to get to our Heroes of the Horn Award. This is JordanCon 10, and something that me and Jennifer has started, well, mainly Jennifer, not me. But we couldn't have done it without individuals pitching in, helping us out, group of individuals pitching in and supporting JordanCon, and for our professional who supported JordanCon from the beginning. So this is our third year for the awards, and Aubree, would you like to give a speech about the individual award winner?
So the volunteer award winner is someone who exemplifies what it takes to keep this con moving. Without the help and support of our army of volunteers, there's no way that we could do all of this. In particular, this year, we want to recognize someone who's been with us for, has it been all 10 years? All 10 years.
1 year, but still worked for us all of them.
Right, but still worked for us even though he wasn't present at the convention. And he has worked through conditions that I can't even begin to imagine. In particular, he keeps very detailed records of the convention, and I'm sure you've seen him around because he videotapes our panels. And as, of course, you may have guessed by now, we are looking for...
We're trying to find Steve Goetz.
Steve Godecki. Woo!
While we're waiting for him.
We're going to keep saying nice
We're just going to keep talking about him. It's great. He won't mind at all.
Not at all.
So when we were deliberating about who to give the awards to, sometimes it's very easy to decide who gets an award. Sometimes it's very hard. And at JordanCon, picking one volunteer who does more or needs more recognition than another is difficult because all of y'all do so much for us. But then when we said Steve's name, immediately the conversation was over because we're like, that's it. There's no one else who deserves it more this year. Steve has done so much for us for the last 10 years. We would not have any video record of JordanCon if not for him. He showed up at the very first JordanCon with a camera and said, hey, I'm going to tape things. Is that cool? And we're like, sure, why not?
And they said, hey, I'm going to put stuff up on YouTube. Is that cool? And we were like, yeah, that sounds good.
No, the first JordanCon, when we listened to a recording of Robert Jordan talking about the prologue, the reason we were able to figure that, to play that, because we were sort of surprised by it and didn't really have a plan for it. Steve had the equipment with him and just whipped out his dongle like he was waiting for an opportunity to do something like that. And got us all hooked up and got it all set up, and we were able to listen to that. Where is he?
So,
It's a tradition.
he's out volunteering is why he's not here. And
Thank you. How many people have seen a video on YouTube of JordanCon? This is the reason why you're able to see videos of JordanCon.
So this is an example of our poor planning right now, because the next person who is to get an award actually isn't in the room right now because we scheduled him to be elsewhere. So about 5 minutes ago, me and Jim were like, oh no, how are we going to do this? But that's okay because I'll cover for him like I always do. See, now we know what I'm talking about. Okay, so the group award this year for the fan group that has done the most to support JordanCon is going to dragonmount.com because so many people find out about JordanCon by seeing announcements on Dragonmount about us. That that was the first place I posted about it. That was the first volunteer pool I pulled from. If not for Dragon Mount and my experiences at Dragon Mount, I would not have enough friends on the internet that I would want to meet in person to want to throw a big party for all of them. If not for Dragon Mount, I would not have Jimmy. I met Jimmy on the forums there because DM, the D stands for dating, obviously. So on Jason's behalf, I will take his award.
We neglected to remind Jason this year that that was something he should do, so he was unaware that this was happening.
He's gonna be so surprised.
Aubree,
You need me.
you're gonna read them out, right?
Oh, okay, sure.
Because you're the MC.
I am.
So we
So,
need to stack them.
stunt Toastmaster.
Okay.
Jennifer, can you stunt Toastmaster that?
Okay.
Bye, y'all.
Me. Now I can be Toastmaster. No, like the whole reason we have a Toastmaster is so that I don't have to MC things, because that's not a skill I have. But that's fine, we'll just fake it till we make it, right? All right, so let's see how long we can drag this one out. Okay, so the last person we're giving an award to, and yeah, like keep doing your bubblegum impression, that's helpful. Yeah. All right, so let me tell you a story, because that will just fill a lot of time, okay? So when we first announced JordanCon, if you don't know this already about me, I'm the kind of person that likes to ask for forgiveness rather than permission. He knows. Oh, he knows. And so when we started JordanCon, I didn't really want Robert Jordan to tell me no. And so I never asked for permission to do JordanCon. It seems to have worked out okay. And I was sort of hoping he would never find out because that would be embarrassing and shameful. So after Jim passed away, we're still planning a whole JordanCon, we're still doing our thing here. And I got an email from Harriet one afternoon. Harriet asked if it would be okay if she attended JordanCon. And so I was super glad, one, that she wanted to hang out with us, and two, that she wasn't calling Steve Hansen, her lawyer, to make me stop doing this. So that's how Harriet became our first guest of honor, because I didn't know I knew I wanted Harriet at our convention, but I didn't know how to ask, because sometimes I'm bad about asking for the things that I want. That's why I just don't ask sometimes. So I was really happy that Harriet came to our first JordanCon, that she was our very first guest of honor, the very first professional to support JordanCon. And so we would like to, when she comes back, to give her the professional award for JordanCon, for the professional that supported JordanCon the most over the last few years. So, yeah. So this is when I have to just start filling time. And so I've already talked a lot about the Wheel of Time, about JordanCon, so let's talk about my other great passion in life, Chromebooks. So who wants to know more about Google Apps for education? Jimmy has heard all about Project Chromebook at work the last couple of years, sorry. Yes, Melissa?
I would like to ask a question about JordanCon.
Sure.
So that had to have been a massive decision that you made. How did you come to it? What type of resources did you have to bring to get started?
So I called in every favor from every friend I'd ever made. And I begged my husband's forgiveness a lot. So when we started JordanCon, and I told this story at the 10 Years of JordanCon panel, so if you heard this earlier today, you can guys just go take a nap or something. So at DragonCon 2005, that was the year that Robert Jordan was the author guest of honor. And because we had Robert Jordan, Theoryland had a big presence that year. Because they had to show it to be weird and creepy around him. So, and also adorable, we love Theoryland. And so, while Matt was there with all the Theorylanders, he started talking to me, he's like, this is really cool, Jen, like you did a good job. But wouldn't it be nice if we had one that was just for us? without all these other lame fandoms. Like, really, do we need the Buffy people hanging around getting in our way? And I was like, oh, Matt, you're so funny. That's a terrible idea. Who would ever come to a Wheel of Time convention? Yeah. But that idea just kind of kept percolating in my head, like maybe it's not such a terrible idea after all. And after some discussion with Jimmy about what would be reasonable for us to do, I decided to do a JordanCon, and he decided to let me. Because Jimmy wanted me to get this out of my system. He thought that we would have one big party, and it would be okay, but not something that we would have to do for the rest of our lives. Yeah, that didn't work out so well for you, honey. And so now we're stuck here, and it's working out pretty good so far. Any other questions that I can turn into long stories that are slightly embarrassing?
No, the Dauro story.
Oh, you want to know our first date? Oh, that's fun. Okay, so... No, because we're so lame. We're like the lamest people ever. Okay, so me and...
You dropped something?
You lost the button, honey. Okay, so me and Jimmy... What? No!
Next story is over. Harriet, we have something for you. We have something for you.
Presents.
All right, so let's see how much of that I can remember so I can repeat it in front of her, right? Okay, so bullet point version. I like to ask for forgiveness instead of permission. Harriet never sued us for starting JordanCon after her husband passed away. And because of that, we would like to give her the professional award for JordanCon this year.
But wait, there's more. So it's become a tradition for us to give Harriet a gift. So someone in the fandom said, hey, I'm gonna give Harriet a gift. Okay.
Alright, so giving Harriet a present every year is one of those things that we never planned. It just sort of happened, and then after a while we're like, let's keep doing this because this is fun. We love giving Harriet presents. And so this year is the year that JordanCon is giving her the present, instead of asking someone like Dragamount or Tarvalon or Threeland to take care of it for us. And so when we were talking about what we would do for Harriet, we wanted to sort of wrap her up in the love that is JordanCon. And so we got her a present that kind of speaks to that idea.
What a great bag.
Yeah. No, it's better than that. Just start tearing things out. There's so much tissue paper in there. It's like 80% tissue paper. No. All of it? Dena Whitney our workshop director was the one who designed the blanket. All right, so Jason, I covered for you like I always do. Here's your award for running Dragon Mountain. I fix it.
Thank you.
Are y'all ready for the results? Yeah? We're going to start with the Judges' Choice Awards. And the first one is Jason Denzel. And his choice is Ellie Rain. I'm sorry, go.
All right, now you might be thinking that's low-hanging fruit, right? Come on. So Ellie is the first person to ever depict a character from my book, St. Bridget. You can read all about her adventures in that book that you got. But not only that, but I think it is a fantastic costume. I love the fox with all the lights and everything else. It's wonderful. Thank you so much for honoring that character.
Harriet, Judges' Choice. Yeah. Oh, and that would be Pham and Aaron de Simone as Nicodemus. Which is Donovan Sanderson as Shalon Javar.
So we get to talk to them before and find out all the work they've done for these costumes and the thought they put into them. And the thought you put into this was spectacular. You guys should all ask her about her costume and why she made the choices she did. We loved it, so well done.
And finally, Lynn's Judge's Choice is Rosemary Williams in the twin-born fashion plate.
What?
Ada was choosing a fashion costume. I mean, who would have saw this coming? This is an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous costume. Everything about this is just wonderfully executed from the top to the bottom. And the wig is gorgeous. Everything is just absolutely beautiful. Very well done. Apparently we don't have a ribbon. We don't have a ribbon, so she gets a kiss instead.
Testing the tech is not enough. You have to make sure that generous friends. Try this again. Yes. Testing the tech is not always enough. Sometimes you have to make sure that the very generous friends who are helping you set the tech understand how it works. Because what you think is obvious isn't really. So that's the lesson to be learned from my mistakes.
Ready to present the Best in Class Award. The first we have is the Best Novice, and that goes to Brandon Butler and Rachel Little. jurymen, who are Seth Jones, Kate Himley, and Steph Greer. And there's only one ribbon, so I'm gonna let them fight for it. And then the best master, we have Sophie Coleman as the Drakar. This year, one of our new awards is for best workmanship. In this case, we're looking for just the craftsmanship aspect and how well the costume was constructed. In this category, the winners for our inaugural year are Seraphine and Kat as the High Lady and True Speaker. You've all been waiting for our best in show. I think this will be a little surprise to anyone, as she has consistently wowed us year after year, Leslie Hannes. So at this time, as we told you, we'd like to institute our first Audience Choice Award. And this goes to individuals who had a strong reaction from the audience when they came across stage, but were not selected by the judges in any category. So we have a few finalists. And then they're going to, and then you guys we're gonna call them up, and then we're gonna kind of do a live final. All right? And we also would like to ask all the award winners, if you would go over in this area at the end of the costume contest. Now you can go over there, you're fine. But at the end for photos. So our 4 finalists for the Audience Choice Award, please come up. And Lynn is going to assist in determining the winner. First we have Tony Chiaffi, the Winter Dragon. Are Linda Talieri, Richard Fife, and Bessie Fife as Suleiman, Javichuk, and Bielaczyc. Weiss as Ray. And Joe O'Hara as Madra. Waves Richard Blade over our finalists. Please show your appreciation for your favorite contestant. All right, ready? Great. Okay, so Lynn is going to eliminate one contestant, and we're going to do a playoff round. All right, ready? Here we go. It's very dramatic. All right. I like the suggestion from the judge. We're going to do a pose off. Can we have you both give your best character pose?
Careful!
Ready? Congratulations to our winter dragon. So thanks for coming off. I was asked to remind you that the charity auction closes promptly at 6:30
It's already
now.
closed.
So maybe go run check on your bids.
It's already closed.
Too late. Oh, sorry. So before we get all the contestants, please to come over this way, and if we can please get a round of applause for everyone.